Okay, let's make sure audio is working. Okay, let's make. All right, guys, audio is good and we're ready to go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Malin back for another start of a new rebuild. If you guys saw the last one that we did last night with the Tennessee Titans, unfortunately, that rebuild ended because the coach got fired. But I feel like there's going to be a little bit more leeway with this one. We're starting up a new rebuild with a team that definitely needs a makeover in a lot of ways. The New Orleans Saints, with first-year head coach Kellen Moore, former Dallas Cowboy offensive coordinator, is at the helm for this one. I am going to be taking control of him, and I'm doing something a little bit different. This is actually an online franchise. Granted, it is a private league, but the reason I wanted to give it a shot is because I wanted to start this rebuild in this week of the NFL season. Of course, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, so naturally Thanksgiving Day games are tomorrow. So we are in week 12, getting ready to get this started. So therefore, I thought, hey, let me start where we are right now in real life in the NFL and see what I can do with the New Orleans Saints in the back half of the 2025 season. It'll make this live stream possibly a little bit shorter, but at the same time, I wanted to try this with a rebuild to see what we can do. So look, the Saints right now currently in real life, just like you see on the screen, are 2-8. They're in last place in the NFC South. They are not a very good football team. The main reason I feel like the New Orleans Saints are just flat out not a good football team this year is because they don't have a freaking quarterback. Here's a look at the roster. We also got a lot of guys that are good but are aging. Demario Davis is our top player, but he's 36 years old. He's likely going to retire at the end of this season. I don't see any scenario where he plays beyond this season. Truth be told, in real life, I actually thought he might be possibly a linebacker the Cowboys would look to trade for just to spend his last time in Dallas, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at the roster currently as it is going into week 12 and for the rest of the season. The quarterback situation is a disaster. We got a 71 Spencer Rattler and a 69 Tyler Shuck, former Texas Tech Red Raider, in his career as a Louisville Cardinal. That's kind of one of the reasons I was a little bit intrigued in this franchise. But to be honest, Tyler Shuck starting out at a 69 overall does not bode him well for the future. Now, maybe in a year or two he might develop, but at this point, I just see him as a future backup quarterback. Spencer Rattler, though, I really don't see him as the future at all. We're definitely going to be spending our first-round pick on a quarterback this year, or we're going to be trying to trade for somebody or sign somebody in free agency. And here's one thing that I found out. Based on the Tennessee Titans rebuild, I got to make sure that the coach doesn't get fired within the first few years. So my thinking is this might be the first rebuild that I do where I try to go really heavy on the trades to upgrade positions. I'm thinking I might just have to give that a shot to avoid Kellen Moore being fired in the first few seasons before I even have a chance to reap the benefits of having this being a bad team and a bad season and try to get a decent draft pick. So we'll see if that works. Running back situation, Alvin Kamara, 82 overall. We have a 76 Kendre Miller as the backup, Devin Neal, and Eric Aston. I mean, Kamara is getting up there in age. I don't know if I want to completely let him get away yet, but we will see. We have no fullback on the roster. I've actually gone out and signed one. Chris Olave is one of our top players, only at an 85 overall, but I feel like he can just get a little bit better. 78 Brandon Cooks, who actually got released in real life. He is now a member of the Buffalo Bills. Jalen Polk, Washington, former Red Raider actually as well, 73 overall. Trey Palmer, Vele, Means. This receiving core outside of Olave is nothing really special at all. Even if we keep Brandon Cooks the rest of the season, he's probably going to retire just like Demario Davis. Like I said, we got a lot of old, aging guys on this team. Jawan Johnson's our starting tight end, 76 overall. We got a 75 Taysom Hill. I need to get him up off this roster at the end of the season or find something to do with him because him listed being a tight end and a gadget player is just not working. You know, you're either a quarterback or you're a running back or you're a wide receiver. You're not a gadget player at this point. It's not going to work. Foster Moreau, who actually was a player we acquired in the Tennessee Titans rebuild in the first offseason. He's 72 overall. We have Stoll and we have Mitchell Payton. Left tackle, Kelvin Banks Jr., 76. 72 Dylan Redunz as the left guard. 89 center, Eric McCoy, our top offensive lineman, but he's actually hurt. So Fortner is right now the starter. And Clapp is hurt too. Ruiz, 76 overall, right guard. Nothing really good behind him. 78 Fuaga. This guy's hurt. Yeah, we really need to upgrade the offensive line. Now, we're going to get McCoy back for next season, but he's our best offensive lineman. We really got to take care of the building this offensive line. And I really think that hopefully we can use the first wave of free agency to really kind of build that up. This is going to be a deal where I just feel like we're going to have to upgrade certain areas at a time. We're obviously going to start over at quarterback, but it doesn't do us any good if we don't have decent offensive linemen protecting him. Chase Young, 80 overall edge rusher. I got to be honest. I mean, with the 49ers, he was pretty decent, but I feel like for the New Orleans Saints' sake, this has been a very busted trade. He really hasn't translated too much to being a successful edge rusher on the opposite side of Granderson, who's a 79 overall. So I'm not saying I'm giving up on Chase Young just yet, but 80 overall with little to no improvement doesn't really put him, in a good spot for me. And we've got Gottschalk at a 78 tackle. Nothing really else big there. We have no Sam linebackers. Of course, we've got Demario Davis. And we have Pete Werner. He actually is on one of my fantasy teams, a dynasty league. In the dynasty league, you actually have defensive players, so he's actually on my team. No, maybe he's not. I think I actually cut him. But anyway, cornerbacks. Kool-Aid McKinstry, now this is where I feel like we have a future star. He's only 1 year in the league. He's only 22 years old. We also have a 75 overall Alontae Taylor, who's a little bit older, 3 years in the league. But our corners are not that bad. But we definitely need to get some improvement there because ever since I think the Saints got rid of Paulson and Debo, they just don't really have any solid corners anymore. Justin Reed, he's pretty decent, captain, 85 overall, 28 years old, probably still has a little bit of tread left on the tire, but, some improvements needed. Julian Blackman, who's injured. Jonas Sanker is going to be our starter right now at 74 overall, so our strong safety position needs an upgrade. Group A is our kicker, 73. 68, Kai Kroger, that's not very good. And our long snapper is a 79 overall. So this roster, kind of like the Titans roster, has a lot of work to do, but it's really got to start at the quarterback position. Right now, entering the week 12 of this season, the approval rating for Kellen Moore is at 50%. So I'm feeling okay about that for now, but I don't know for how much longer. We are in week 12, so at this point we can actually do negotiating with players. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have going here. We do have $103 million in cap room, so we do have a pretty decent amount of wiggle room to start out year one. But let me see if any of these guys are even worth keeping. I'm not going to really mess with Demario Davis very much because he's probably going to retire, so it'd be probably a waste to even think about re-signing him. And really, the rest of these players, I don't really see any reason to try to keep them, to keep any of them, really. Cameron Jordan, maybe, but, at his age, he's probably going to retire too. I can't see him sticking around here for much longer, even than one season. And everybody else, I don't think is really, Hill's actually on the last year of his deal, so we can let him walk. Yeah. We'll take the fifth-year option on Brian Breese, a defensive tackle. I accept usually the fifth-year options on most players that are starting out, young at 23. He doesn't really have an interest in signing here, but if we pick up the fifth-year option on him, I believe he's really got no choice but to do that. And there's really not a whole lot of players that are really interested in coming back. Like Demario Davis is interested up there, but I don't want to, he's probably going to retire, so I don't really want to do that. I might go ahead and just maybe see about bringing back Blackman. But you know what? I'm actually going to let Blackman go into free agency and see if there's any improvements there at the strong safety spot. If there isn't, we can always go back and get him back in free agency. And we might be able to do it for a little bit of a cheaper deal, but we will see. So, I'm definitely thinking of the fifth-year option on the defensive tackle, but that's about all I can think of to do right now. So we're going to let it ride. So first of all, let's take a look at what has happened so far in the first season. We're jumping right into the middle of this. The Saints started out the season 0-5, and they lost all these games. And they lost the first two games by one score, and then they lost the next two by multiple scores. They finally beat the Giants, and then they lost 5 games in a row. One of them was a blowout against the Buccaneers. They lost to the Rams by 2 touchdowns, and they just beat the Panthers to actually get finally off the schneid of losing 5 in a row. So they've had, looks like, a 4-game losing streak and a 5-game losing streak this season. Right now, they just finished the bye week. So in week 12, they're going to get ready to play the Falcons, who are actually 3-7. They play the Falcons again to wrap up the regular season. So left on the schedule, Dolphins, who are not that good. Buccaneers are a good team. Panthers are a better team this year. The Jets are the worst team in the league. I hope we don't lose that game. And then we play the Titans, who are probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league too. So we got a chance. So we got a chance for some wins at the end of the season, but there's no way we're going to be in the playoff hunt at all. At this point, we may be lucky to finish third in the NFC South, but I'm not really getting too crazy about that. I think this is really a team that's going to finish, with probably only like maybe 2 to 3 more wins this season, if that. We will see. So I will play the final game of the regular season. Let's go ahead and simulate through here. Let's see what happens against the Falcons this week. And we lose to the Falcons by 6. We get to choose our draft class. Let's go ahead and select from the download center. Let's go ahead and go to the 7th round one. These can always update, so that's why I kind of always re-download them, because you never know. Adjustments can be made by the creator, so yeah. But everything looks to be in order here. This is like the regular, guys. Real-life NFL players. So yeah. Let me check, actually, the injury report. I didn't check that before the first game that we played against the Falcons. So yeah, all these guys right now that we saw have the injury list. They're on IR. Alontae Taylor is week to week with a dislocated wrist. I should probably actually go out and sign a fullback, if I'm being brutally honest. Yeah, let's go out and sign a fullback. Because we don't have one on the roster. Let's see, all on practice squad. There's no fullbacks available. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that then. Oh, man. We'll take care of that in the offseason. 2-9 facing a Dolphins team that's gotten a little bit better, but they're 4-7. Maybe we can get an upset win against them in this one. I don't expect it, but we'll see. And we beat the Dolphins actually by 17 points. We scored 30 points. Let me take a look actually at kind of the stats. I want to see who's been decent at quarterback. I mean, we've had Shuck and Radler played basically, it looks like the same amount of time based on the statistics. Radler's thrown 8 touchdowns to 5 picks. Shuck's got 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. I mean, the quarterback play is horrible. I mean, our starter is a 71 overall. That's not good at all. You look at the bottom and you can see the overall ratings. We're 80 overall across the board, so that's not too bad considering what we started out with the Titans, but still. We can manually. I chose the option to manually upgrade players, so let's go ahead and take a look here and see what we can do. We can upgrade a lot of guys, actually. So we're going to upgrade Ridgeway.
Here are our players' motivations.
So let's see. Let me go Speed Rusher with him. Go ahead and upgrade Speed Rusher with him. Let's go ahead and let's see. Aldrick Estime. Let's see what we can upgrade with him. Let's go. He's one of our running backs. Let's go to the power back. Usually when I manually do these upgrades, I like to do it kind of just from the bottom up. All right, Rumpf. Let's go ahead and upgrade. Let's go Run Stopper. Go pass coverage for Ford. That doesn't get him up to a 70, but that's fine. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Oh, they even got his hair, the little red and the green, and his that's a good detail. Some of the player face scans are getting a little bit better over the years. Let's see. Let's go man-to-man. Okay, yeah, that's got him up to a 76. Okay, so finally we got Kool-Aid McKinstry in the green zone, a.k.a. he's, in a better place, so that's good. All right. Ruiz, our right guard. Let's go ahead and upgrade him. Let's see. I'm going to go power, see if that, yep, that brings him up to a 77. Okay, so maybe the top skill seems like that's probably going to be able to upgrade their overalls quicker. So Chase Young, let's go speed rusher. Yeah, that gets him up to an 81. Okay, so it's looking like it's the top upgrade that you do for each player that really gets them upgraded quickly, so that way they can actually go up 1 overall point. Run support, yeah, got him up to an 86 now. All right. So now we've got our players upgraded, and we're going to be playing the Buccaneers this week. They're in the playoff hunt. We're not, so it is what it is. And we actually pulled an upset win over the Bucs. Wow, we won 28-14 in that game. Let's go ahead and upgrade some more players. So now we're 4-9 now, so we're doing better than I thought we would. Danny Stutzman.
Some players' development traits are hidden.
Former Oklahoma Sooner. Let's go ahead and do run stopper with him. Yeah, that's gotten him up to a 71 now, which is really good. Fortner. Let's do agile with him. Yeah, we're just going to go by the first skill to upgrade everybody. Yeah, Breesy is getting up to a 76 overall now. So I think it's definitely worth picking up the 5th-year option on him. Oh, we got more skill points to spend on this guy? Wow, okay. Oh my gosh, I might be able to get him up to an 80 already. I mean, the younger that you have your players, the more they can progress. So I'm guessing man, I'm about to get him up to almost the 80s. Look at this. Get him up once again. Then we got one more skill point we can spend. We got one more. I'm going Power Rusher again. And look at this. We already got Brian Brise up to an 80 overall. So, yeah, he's definitely worth the 5th-year option. We're definitely going to pick up the 5th-year option on him. The more, some players, they get, more skill points than others. But, Brise looking like a decent piece for the future. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to, not be looking for defensive tackles in free agency or the draft, but at least we got a solid building piece. So that makes me feel pretty good. I'm actually going to do a little bit of, I'm going to take a look at the depth chart actually a little bit here. Right now we actually have Shuck starting, and I think I want to do that for the rest of this season, at least let the rookie get a chance to do it. Kamara is banged up and he's hurt, so it's not looking too good there. We don't have any more running backs that we can substitute for the depth chart right now. That's not fun. So let's go auto reorder. No third receiver, so it's just Taysom Hill can't start. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot Cooks is hurt. He can't play. We got no more receivers. Okay, that's fine. All right, GM's office is go ahead and auto upgrade the depth chart. We're pretty thin at receiver. We also got injuries too, so that's also kind of just the problem that we have. We only have like three active receivers right now, basically. Apparently, so a lot of them are banged up and hurt. So. Brise is best be left to be the starter at this point. Let him definitely start the rest of the year for sure. Okay, we only have a few more games left in the season. Let's go ahead and see how we do against the Carolina Panthers. They're 8-5. Looks like they're going to be headed to the playoffs. Pretty good test for us. Pretty good test for Shuck. And we get blown out by them, unfortunately, pretty easily. We got another new injury to worry about. Our left tackle's got a foot fracture, out 2 to 4 weeks. Well, that's not good. Well, I'm definitely going to sign somebody to help us out at the left tackle spot. We need some help there. Let's see, left tackles. Let's see, the top guy available is Cameron Fleming. I'm going to go ahead and sign him. Cowboy and former Patriot. Yeah, we're going to get some help for us there for sure at left tackle. Let's go ahead and check the depth chart and make sure he's in there as a starter. I mean, Sim Richards, former Cowboy, is, here, but we need somebody to, be at least suitable there. Somebody at least in the 70s. I think that's respectable enough. We see if maybe there's maybe any other, players that I need to sign. We could use another edge rusher. Looks like Cameron Jordan, he plays on the left. So he's a little banged up, but I don't know why Cameron Jordan isn't starting right now, but I'm going to put him in there. Brise is up to an 80 overall. Look at that. Warner. No. He can't start there. Corners. Yeah, that's the best we got right there. What's this there? Is Kamara healthy enough to play? Okay, he's back in the lineup. So he must have gotten banged up in the first game. His risk of injury is low right now, so the wear and tear is not really there, so that's good. All right. Oh, wait, we have to upgrade players. I almost forgot to do that. I forget I have to do that manually here, which I probably might just auto-do that, maybe for next season. Sanker, let's go ahead and do zone. Upgrade for him. Got 4 skill points we can spend. Okay, let's go zone again then. Man, we might be able to get this guy up to an 80 overall already, or strong safety, so we might be, looking better here. Got him up to an 80. Jonas Sanker. 80 overall strong safety now. Look at this. I know I'm just upgrading zone, but I'm already getting him massively upgraded. Each of these guys only have 1 point to their names, so Fuaga, he's only got 1 point that we can spend. Let's go ahead and just do power then. So, I mean, he's not a bad looking right tackle. So we're looking a little bit better at some positions because we got some guys that are getting better. But we're trying to, get some wins under our belt. Mason Tipton, one of our backup receivers, is now up to a 70 overall, so that makes me feel a little bit better about the depth we have there. Sim Richards, I mean, it didn't work out in Dallas, man, but maybe it'll work out here. We'll see. He's a Kellen Moore, somebody Kellen Moore knows, so hey, why not? It's getting a little bit better, but 65 overall at this point when you're this long in the league, don't really have high hopes for you, man. Well, we're playing a team that's worse than us in the New York Jets, so I'm hoping this is a win. I'm really hoping it's a win. They're a team that just did a fire sale, so. And we beat the Jets by 1 point. Well, it wasn't pretty, but we did get a win against the Jets. Right now, that puts us, we're still last in the NFC South, but hey, I mean, 5 wins is not terribly ashamed of. And Kellen Moore's right now approval is still average. I mean, we didn't go like, we're not going to go winless, and we're not only going to win like 2 games. We're going to have, not a very good record, but for the first year, I mean, it's his first year as head coach. So fortunately, there's some wiggle room there. But I got to get, this team in shape because if it's anything like what happened with me and Brian Callahan, we're going to be in trouble early. Carl Granderson, let's get you up to 80. Yeah, there we go. So Granderson is now up to an 80, so we got more players that are getting a little bit better every week. It's the back half of the season, and, sometimes players don't get stronger, they get weaker, but we're doing a little bit better there. Alontae Taylor, he's a guy I'm, considering. If he gets a little bit better every week, I may consider bringing him back to not a big contract, but something that's a little bit decent. But I'll wait for that at the end of the season. Devin Neal, one of our backup running backs. Let's get him over. Oh, he's up to 72 now by doing that. Okay. Not bad at all for our backups. Rattler really hasn't played because he lost his job. But, I mean, well, if I upgrade Scrambler, that'll get him up to 71. Shuck hasn't really seen his overall go up. But I still want to keep him in there as the starter. Because, I mean, we've still been losing at times, but it's not all his fault. Well, actually, I say that. Now we have Rattler in as the starter. I'm going to put Shuck in as a starter for the rest of the season, though. He's also a scheme fit guy. I know that Rattler is a higher rated guy, but yeah. But Shuck is still on a tight leash. If I play one of these games and we get down by a lot of points, I'm going to make the switch. All right, the Titans are one of the worst teams in the league as well, so we have 2 weeks in a row that we're playing some of the worst teams in the league. And the Titans are one of those teams. They're 3-12, and we lose to the Titans by 16 points. So that's not good. So let me think here. So let me go ahead and upgrade players first before I make a decision. I might go ahead and put Rattler in there as the starting quarterback. I might make the change of quarterback. Let's go upgrade man-to-man, and that gives McKinstry now up to a 77 overall, so that's good. It's a good look right there. Oh, wait, we got more skill points? Do we? Yeah, we do. We got 2 more points we can spend. Okay. All right, let's go man-to-man again. We might be able to get him up to 80 overall with this. Or at least maybe 79 overall. 79 overall for Kool-Aid. Great. Okay. So he's the only player we could upgrade this week. Couldn't really do a lot of upgrades for others. Let me just think here. I put Shuck in there, and he didn't do so well. But he's only a 70. This may be my only chance to actually play with him as a starter. So you know what? I'm going to keep him in there. All right. So the Falcons are 8-8. They are third in the division. Well, they're second in the division actually. Okay. So, but they wouldn't be in. But they're not in the playoff picture, are they? Let me check the playoff picture. No, they're not. Right now, the only NFC South team in there are the Panthers. The Buccaneers aren't even in the playoff picture right now. Bucs are 7-9, so they're going to miss the playoffs. Talk about a fall off. My Cowboys are 8-7-1. Are they in the playoff picture? Nope, they're not, of course, but it's okay. Okay, then. Well, we're playing a team that isn't going to the postseason, but hey, let's just go in there and have fun. Let's go ahead and play the moments for this one against the Falcons. See if we can end our season on a high note. Yeah. I wanted to go with like the black pants. So it's our final game of the season against the rival Atlanta Falcons. Got Tyler Shuck in there at QB. This is really a big evaluation move for him. See what he can do. It's a decent Falcon team. All right, we got a 3rd down and 7 here. So this is the first big test for him. Come on, Olave. And Chris Olave makes a great catch to get us a 1st down, keep the drive alive. Nice job. Okay, we got another 3rd down attempt here.
Play 10 of this opening drive. And here's 3rd down.
Oh, Olave, you're over. Oh, of course he's short. I might not have been the best decision I could have made. All right, Coach Moore says go for it. Let's go for it. Hey, it's our last game of the season. This is it.
What are you going to do on 4th down?
Tight end makes the grab. Let's go. First down.
They didn't want to settle for 3, and now it's first.
There's an air running back.
They'll run here with
Kamara in for 6. Let's go. Way to start.
So on 4th down,
force the Falcons into a punt.
To punt.
Towards the end of the first quarter here. I'll let that go. I probably should have returned it. But fair caught it. Well, that's the end of the first quarter. Falcons get on the board, though, tied up at 7, and we're here on defense at the end of the first half. Penix Jr. is back in a quarterback. 2-minute warning for Atlanta. Got the ball inside the 10. Let's see if we can stop it.
To Atlanta. In a moment. Now the lefty Penix on 1st down.
Oh, drop.
Pinballs around, but it is
London with the drop pass. Very unexpected.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Oh, great tackle right there. Good job. Granderson? Yeah, that was Granderson making the play.
Behind the line of scrimmage, too. Good drive now faces a tough conversion.
3rd and 12.
3rd and long. Out of the shotgun, it's Penix. Exiting the pocket right. He'll try and get there on the...
I'm going to go ahead and call a timeout because they're going to kick a field goal, but I want to give us a chance to answer before the end of the half. And we also, Warner did a good job of tackling Penix before he got very far. We have a chance to go down the field and answer here. The simulation will let us. And it does. Great. Sorry, I had to burp. Let's play here.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Here's Shuck. And it's a reception.
And Taysom Hill out of bounds.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but up past the 35. So 1st and 10 here now at the 38. From the gun, it's Shuck.
Shuck gets the 1st down, doesn't lose the football. That's good. Probably should have burned another timeout there, but I mean, very least, you get a field goal out of this. Okay, let's definitely burn a timeout now. We didn't gain a yard, but we got sacked. Apparently, even if you don't lose yardage, if you get sacked at the line of scrimmage, the quarterback, it still counts as sack. This happened when Dak got sacked by Micah Parsons. I want to throw one more pass to see how much closer we could get for that field goal shot. Just start. Oh man, that's that's grounding. All right, 5 seconds left on the clock. All right, at this point, we got the ball at the 39-yard line. We're in field goal range. All right, let's just kick it. Clock stopped, so I don't have to burn the last timeout even to do this. Come on. 56-yarder, and it's good. So we do get some points to end the half. We answer the Falcons' field goal with a field goal of our own. Atlanta is driving again. It's late in the 3rd quarter. And we get a sack. Oh, but there's a flag. Please be on them. Holding? Holding on the offense. Whoa. Yeah, I'll first and goal. That'll push him. It'll push him back farther than the sack. All right, 1st and goal at the 12 then. I don't know why Penix was trying to run there. Gottschalk did a great job of sniffing that one out, brought him down for, I think, a loss of 2 yards. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 14.
the gun, here is Penix. He'll take off again.
Oh, man.
And he will get into the
Penix
end
just
zone.
outran the corner. Alontae Taylor, I think, for the touchdown. And they got a chance to score again.
So, not quite first and goal. It's 1st and 10. They're pretty close.
Good hit, though, by Demario Davis. And
Down inside the 10.
very well could be his last game.
Demario Davis on the tackle. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
On 2nd down, here's Penix. Off he goes.
All right, 3rd and 4.
Gain yardage out of this one before he slides.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
I feel like we got to account for the scrambling, so I'm going to send pressure.
Penix on 3rd down.
And it's a
And he's
touchdown.
into the end zone.
All right. I'm going to do custom play options. I'm going to play all offense for the rest of the game. Let's try to get this thing downfield.
Shuck looking to throw on 1st down. Cook's able to pull that one in.
This guy belted hard.
That keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 38-yard line.
Off the play fake, here's Shuck. Right back to Cooks. He's got another one. And they'll pick up the 1st down, a gain of about 4.
And the Saints, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Operating out of the gun, this is Shuck.
Of course.
Down the field, it's an interception. That's the safety, Jesse Bates. Oh, it's a win here.
Well, we lose our last game of the regular season to finish 5-12. Didn't really have much of a chance to play with the offense, although we did get 1 touchdown when I was playing with them. So we lose our final game of the regular season. 5-12 is our fate. But we got a long way to go. So. I mean, starting out, first-year coach Kellen Moore with a losing record. I mean, there's going to be some growth, so. Group it, we can actually upgrade. Power. We got him up to a 74 now, so. It's not bad at all. And we got a contract extended. Okay, we decided to extend your contract 5 years for $5 million. Okay, so we finished the year pretty bad, but we get a contract extension. Pretty interesting. Well, we can actually upgrade some skills finally with Kellen Moore, so let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, we got a lot of upgrades we can do here. So, yeah, we got some big upgrades there. Well, we finished, we're right now average with our approval rating. Coaching staff is a little bit lower than everything else. GM, 46. Fans, players are average. But, yeah, let's actually go and take a look at our assistant coaches. Everybody else is average, so you know what? I'm not going to really worry about terminating any of our assistant coaches just yet. So we finished the season 5-12. Playoff bracket, here's what the playoffs look like for year 1. Patriots against the Chargers, Ravens against the Colts, Jaguars against the Bills. The Broncos have the number 1 seed. Eagles got the number 1 seed in the NFC. It's Lions against the 49ers, Seahawks and the Packers, Panthers and the Rams. So that is the way that things are looking for the playoffs in year 1. Let's go ahead and simulate week by week and see who ends up in the Super Bowl. Maybe see if any of our Saints make the Pro Bowl. All right, and it looks like the Super Bowl is going to be between the Eagles and the Colts. So Daniel Jones has led the Indianapolis Colts to a Super Bowl berth. Patriots beat the Chargers. The Colts beat the Ravens on the road as a 6th seed in the playoffs as a wild card. Jaguars beat the Bills. Then the Jaguars go on the road and beat the Patriots. And then the Colts beat the Broncos, beat them badly. The number one seed in the AFC goes down with a big, big loss. And then they beat the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game, an all AFC South matchup to go to the Super Bowl. Lions beat the 49ers, the Packers beat the Seahawks, and the Rams beat the Panthers. And it's the Rams beating the Lions and then the Eagles beating the Green Bay Packers. And it was Eagles-Rams in the NFC Championship, and it's Eagles against the Colts in the Super Bowl. So the Eagles are going for back-to-back championships. Let's see if any of the Saints made the Pro Bowl. I highly doubt it, though. Looks like, oh, Werner made it. Okay. Interesting. So it looks like Werner was our only Pro Bowl this year, a linebacker. He might be somebody I might look to re-sign now, maybe a short-term deal, but we'll see what happens when I get to the offseason fully. All right, let's see who. Let's go ahead and check out who gets the yearly awards. See if any of the Saints were in any contention for any awards at all. The MVP is Mahomes. Coach of the Year is Mike Vrabel. All right, so shout out to him. All right, Offensive Player of the Year, NFC is Jahmyr Gibbs. Nobody from the Saints. Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody from the Saints in here. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody. Best quarterback. Nobody from the Saints. Best running back. Nobody. Best receiver. Not even Chris Olave was even featured in here. Best offensive lineman. Okay, so Cesar Ruiz finished 8th, so finally a Saint shows up on this list. Best defensive lineman, nobody from the Saints. Best linebacker, Demario Davis finished 6th. Surprised to see that Werner wasn't there. Best DB, nobody. Best kicker, no one. So yeah, we didn't really have any Saints being recognized or any contention for anything. So it is what it is. All right, so let's see who wins the Super Bowl between the Colts and the Eagles. Okay. And it's the Colts taking down the Eagles, so the defending champions lose. Daniel Jones is the MVP of this year's Super Bowl. Those are all the yearly award winners off to your right. We can actually upgrade players, so yeah, it's probably Warner because he played in the Pro Bowl. Oh no, we actually got some. Well, these are kind of like practice squad guys, but still, we can upgrade them. Go ahead and upgrade Hull, loose it back. Jake Hayner, our third string quarterback. We're just going to go ahead and upgrade him at the Scrambler. Will Sherman. Hopefully this will get him actually in the 60s. And it does. Any player that's like in the 50s, I mean, we can't be messing with you too much. Seriously. All right, let's check out the retirements. See if any of our Saints retired. I got a feeling some of them did. Yep. Nathan Shepard retired after only 8 seasons. I was surprised to see that. When Cameron Jordan retires, I'm not surprised about that. Demario Davis retired, and so did Taysom Hill. So we didn't have to think about bringing back Taysom Hill. He's just going to retire himself. So yeah. All right. I'll take a look at the coaching carousel, see what happened. Can we see like coaching carousel? Firing and hiring staff is available this week. Oh, okay. So we can hire or fire. So but we don't want to do that, not yet at least. Let the coaching staff play things out for at least a couple of seasons together and see what happens. So yeah, we've done everything we need to do here. Let's go ahead and advance to staff week. We'll see like what coaches did get fired and who's going where. Coaching carousel. Maybe here I can see like who was hired, who was fired. No, I can't see that. Okay. Storyline, staff improvements. Yeah, I'm probably going to skip that for the most part. All right, this is the last chance we can negotiate with players before the start of free agency. We have $123 million in cap space. So, yeah, we're going to accept the fifth-year option on Brise for sure. It didn't cost us anything. Some of these guys, kind of reconsidering. Okay, well, I guess Werner's contract isn't up. I thought his contract was up for some reason. Maybe I was getting him confused with Bullard for some reason. I don't know. All right. Well, not really looking to sign any of these guys. It probably won't cost us too much to try to keep Blackman and Taylor. But you know what? I'm going to risk it, letting them go to free agency and see if there's any improvements out there. Mostly because we have $123 million. So I'd like to be able to keep that available. But we can actually restructure contracts right now at this point. So I'm going to do that. Let's restructure McCoy. That's going to free up $5 million. He's our highest player. Reed. His contract can't be restructured, though, so we can't do anything with him. What about Olave? Can't restructure him either. Chase Young. We can restructure his contract. No, I don't want to see it goals. Can we restructure his contract? Yeah, we can. We have $5 million. That's good. Granderson. Camara, his can't be restructured, though. We just took the fifth-year option on Brise. It won't free up a lot, but it'll free up a little bit. Sanker, his can't be restructured. What about Kool-Aid? Free up a little bit. Those guys are like really like the top players. Of course, we're letting some of these guys walk. Warner's can be restructured. This will free up a little bit. Let me actually go position by position a little bit here. I can't really do too much with the rest of these contracts, so I think I'm good at like leaving everything where it is. Going into this offseason, we really didn't have to spend significant amounts of money anywhere to keep anybody, so it makes me feel good going into this first offseason as far as free agency. Hopefully there'll be some good players out there that can really improve our team. All right, so let's take a look at our roster, what we really got to upgrade. Quarterback for sure, but the draft might be the best place to do that, unless there's a really good free agent quarterback. Running back, I wouldn't be opposed to either. We definitely need a fullback because we don't even have one on the team. We got a bunch of receivers. I'm not opposed to a good second receiver. Another tight end, probably finding a starter at tight end, I think needs to be a priority. We need a left guard because we don't even have one. Right guard, Cesar Ruiz is not that bad. 79, Fuaga is not that bad either. I think I'm okay with letting that ride out a little bit. Edge rusher, we got an 81 Chase Young, we got an 80 Granderson, even though Cameron Jordan retired. Brise is getting better, but, Godchuk is not that bad either, but we could use upgrades there. We definitely need a Sam linebacker. Middle linebacker, Werner had a decent year last year. If there's no upgrades, fine. Corners, we need help there. backup safety. We need a kicker, and we also need a punter. What about long snappers? We actually still have our long snapper, Wood. Okay. All right, then. All right, well, let's get into this free agency period and see who all is out here. There's got to be some good players out here. Javonte Williams, Cowboys didn't re-sign him, which is a mistake, but he's out here. I just don't really know if that's really too much worth. Let's see about quarterbacks. Man, Daniel Jones is a free agent, and he just won the Super Bowl, and he was named MVP. I don't know. I mean, he's really not even interested in coming here, so we have to overpay to get him, and I just don't really know if I want to do that. Could use more help at running back. Outside of Kamara's only up to an 80. You can take care of fullbacks. Is anyone even interested in coming here? No. None of the fullbacks are. The most interested fullback is this guy, British Brooks. I know he's only a 69 overall, but I just feel like I'm going to have to sign him because he's the only one who's even remotely interested in coming here. So we're going to sign him. Hopefully he'll accept the offer. Let's see about receivers. There's nobody really good out here. I mean, Tutu Atwell is not that bad, but he's more of a gadget player. All right, there's no really big-time receivers that can really be a big-time, big help for us. Maybe Atwell, but I just don't know if I want to spin that on him, though. There's not really big upgrades at tight end. Maybe DJ Humphries. We need a left guard. We don't even have one. There's some decent guys out here. They're in the high 70s. I think David Edwards. He might be a pretty good player to get. 2-year deal. I'll probably convince him to come. All right, let me take a look one more time at the offensive line to make sure that we're not missing out on anything. Left tackles. Banks is not bad. We need a left guard. I think as far as the rest of the offensive line, we're good, but I think I do need a backup center. And I'm going to get another left guard while I'm at it, just to get some upgrades there. But we're going to worry about backups in the second wave. Let's worry about guys that we could see as potential, starters. There's not really any good edge rushers. I mean, DJ Reader would not be that bad of a defensive tackle. But you know what? I think I'm going to go after him just to get that veteran presence in here that we need. He only wants a 1-year deal anyway to come to someplace like New Orleans. So the Falcons are vying for his services more than we are. So I'm not going to overpay for somebody like that. We're just going to keep that where it is. We need a Sam linebacker. Dennis Gardeck. He's from the Titans rebuild, actually. But we don't even have one on the roster, so let's go ahead and sign him. Make an offer for him at least. All right, we definitely need some upgrades at middle linebacker, Mike linebacker. Chris Barnes, he's a veteran guy, scheme fit guy. I think I want to go after him. 2-year deal, probably play out the last few years of his career here if he really wants to. We've done the maximum amount that we can. So if I see somebody better, I might have to take somebody off the list. Let me take a look at let's see what the will linebacker spot is looking like. Okay, well Werner is not too shabby. So corners, yeah. Hopefully there's an 80 corner. Somebody in the 80s at least out here at corner. I feel like there is. All right, there is, but he's not even interested in here. Well, I'm going to try to get... okay, you know what? I'm not going to risk losing a guy that... yeah, we're actually going to take the fullback off here because I want to make sure that we get our cornerback, Alontae Taylor, back because I think we could get him back. 2-year deal. Let's get him back here. We're also the only team that's offered him, so I'm sure we'll be able to get him back. Mostly because, Kool-Aid McKinstry is our other best corner. There is a corner in the 80s here, but it's not looking good. Okay. Well, first of all, this free agency haul is really nothing too spectacular. So as far as the ones that I've targeted. So these are the ones that I've targeted. DJ Reader, David Edwards, Alontae Taylor, bringing him back, and Chris Barnes, Dennis Gardeck. None of these guys are really standout guys. DJ Reader, I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. So you know what? Should I just try to I don't want to overpay for a quarterback that's only 80 overall. I know he just won a Super Bowl and he's the MVP, but I just feel like that would be overpaying for somebody who really won't be too much of a help to us. I mean, I at least want to go the route of drafting a quarterback first in this rebuild and see what we can do. I mean, I know that I said I would go a little bit more bold and do more trades and stuff like that, but I just don't want to do it. So those are the 5 hours that we're going to do. Who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones will still be there in phase 2, in stage 2, but who knows? I don't know if we're going to get Reader because the Falcons are vying for him as well. So we might lose out on an improvement at defensive tackle, but let's see. Did we sign anybody? So we got all 3 of those guys except, probably except, so Edwards is still considering our offer, but we got Alontae Taylor to come back. We did sign Chris Barnes, and we did sign Dennis Gardeck. So it's looking like that we did lose out on DJ Reader. So he's going to the Falcons after all. Daniel Jones is going to the Raiders, but you know what? That's a typical Raiders move. But I think they overpaid for him because they're desperate at quarterback. But there's some decent quarterbacks that are out there. I mean, there's nothing really too, over the top, but there's still decent QBs out there. Okay, so now I think it's about maybe getting some backup players at this point of free agency to see what we can get. I'm okay with Kendre Miller still being our backup running back, and we can always look to draft somebody. We do need to get a fullback. We'll take care of it this time, just because I wanted to put in an offer for another player. I'm surprised Brandon Cooks actually didn't retire. I just noticed he did not retire. There really weren't any upgrades. I mean, Tutu Atwell would give us a decent third weapon, but he's not too much better than what Brandon Cooks is able to provide. I mean, Atwell's younger for sure. There wasn't really an upgrade at tight end. We're still in on David Edwards. We need a backup center. We also need a backup Sam linebacker as well. Barnes becomes our instant starter at 75 overall. We got a 77 Warner now. So yeah, I mean, a lot of most of the free agents we had, we weren't able to really upgrade our team that much. I think I might just go ahead and get another corner for depth. And we need a strong safety as well. We need a kicker. We need a punter. Okay, so we actually got to do some work here. All right, let's take care of positions of players that we don't have any yet. Let's take care of the fullback situation right now. All right, British Brooks, come on down. All right, let's see about the kickers and the punters. Will Lutz is the top kicker. Let's go after him. Top punter. Ryan Wright is more interested in coming here than everybody, and I don't want to overspend for a punter. 75 overall is not that bad. So let's go ahead and throw in an offer for him. All right, we do need a backup. We can do more, negotiations during this time. Okay, I know we need a backup Sam linebacker. We already got Gardeck. Sam McGuavin, Texas Tech guy, he's actually really interested in coming here. So, let's make him an offer, bring him in here on a 1-year deal. Yeah, we're his only offer, so we're just getting him for depth, really. All right, we need a backup center. Nick Gates would be pretty solid. 1-year deal for him to come on down. All right, Nick Gates. So yeah, we got Lutz, Edwards. Let's see. I feel like we're still missing like targeting guys. Okay, we took care of, starters that we need, fullback, kicker. And look at that. Javonte Williams is going to the rival Washington Commanders. Pretty interesting look there. Let me go ahead and take a look at our roster again. I think there might be some quarterbacks there that are at least in like the high 70s So I might just look at that. Oh yeah, I could use some corner depth. Maybe there's a quarterback out there that's like, there's no really, well, the only decent quarterbacks are taken. There's really no, yeah, there's really no help right there. Let me take another look at running back, see if there's maybe anybody that can help with depth. You know, Rashad White, 27 years old. I think that's worth it because if Kamara retires in a few years, that might give us a good 1-2 punch at running back. So that way we don't have to prioritize running back in the draft this year. He's from the Bucs, so let's get some depth in here at running back next to Kamara. And you know what? No. I don't need to bring in two. You know what? Let's bring in another solid third weapon because we're going to be drafting a quarterback this year more than likely. So let's go ahead and put in a bid for Tutu Atwell. 2 years, scheme fit guy, you know, more of a slot receiver, but hey, that's fine with me. And we do need some depth at cornerback. So we obviously got Alontae Taylor to come back. But there's some other guys that aren't too bad either. Alontae Taylor. Starling Thomas the fifth. He's a 73 overall, but we really just are getting him for depth, really. 2-year deal, small contract, nothing really too crazy. Let's get in some depth at corner. Riz only offer, so we'll probably be able to get him. Okay. We can still target one more player, but we got a lot of targets for this one. Rashard White, Will Lutz, David Edwards, Tutu Atwell, Ryan Wright, Thomas, Gates, Brooks, and Iguavin. Nobody else is really vying for any of these guys, so we probably should be able to land pretty much all these players. All right, let's see if we got everybody. All right, we got White, got Lutz, got Edwards, we got Atwell, we got Wright to sign, got Thomas, got Gates, we got Brooks, and we got Iguavin. So we've gotten everybody that we've targeted. And that's really going to do it for this wave of free agency. I'm not really looking to do anything else. So I think we're pretty good where we're at. I mean, you know, White actually is he's rated higher than Kamara. Well, in any event, it'll give us a decent 1-2 punch at running back, I feel like. So we'll take it. I know Rashad White, he wears 1 in Tampa, but has he worn another number in his career? Looks like he also wore 29 for a brief period of time. I guess maybe I can give him that number. Don't know if it's available, though. Can actually restructure his contract just immediately after signing him, so that's nice. I mean, he's right now actually sitting at an 81 overall, so that's not too bad. All right, we'll give him 26 for now, and let me see if maybe I can give him 29. I'm sure that's being occupied by some other player. Probably a corner or a safety. Oh, we need a backup strong safety. Quincy Riley. Maybe we give him a different number. Give him a different number. Let's go ahead and give Rashad White his 29. Fullback. Tutu Atwell. He actually becomes our second best receiver. Tutu Atwell. What other numbers maybe has he worn? Okay, well, he's worn 1, but that's preoccupied by Alontae Taylor already. Somebody else wearing, like, who's wearing number 5? Quarterback. Looks like nobody else is wearing 5, so Is nobody else wearing 5? All right, let's go ahead and save the changes for now. He's wearing number 8 right now, but I feel like that I'm not seeing anybody wearing 5. Oh, it's Kendre Miller. He's wearing number 5. Okay, well, he'll probably change his number to something in the 20s or maybe the 30s. Let's change his number to 23 for now. In getting Atwell, that's going to just be another weapon for our starting quarterback, whoever we draft. Because I mean, I don't like any of the QBs that are currently on this roster, and there were really no improvements in free agency other than Daniel Jones. But I wasn't going to spend a huge amount of money on that. I just think that would have been a waste of money to do something like that. Spend all that money on like an 80 overall QB, and just to not get a lot of results. Okay, we do need to go get a backup strong safety, and we also need a backup left guard to back up the guy that we just signed in Edwards. So we still got a little bit of work to do in free agency. Okay, backup left guard. Let's go get another one. Somebody that won't cost us very much. This guy Clay Webb, let's go ahead and sign him. Cheap 1-year deal. He wants to come here, so we don't have to overpay for him to come here. And a backup strong safety we need. A backup strong safety. And actually, there's some decent strong safeties available this year, but we already got a guy that's in the 80s. These guys wouldn't be too much of an improvement. Maybe Quentin Lake or Cameron Curl might have been a decent idea to look at one of them, but that's probably overpaying just a little bit too much for those guys. Anybody in the 60s wants to come here? No, really? I'm surprised to see that. All right, well, we're gonna have to go with a guy that, you know, his meter's still pretty high. Derek Forsett. Let's go with him. 2-year deal, cheap deal. Let's bring him in. So last wave, last targets, Webb and Forrest. Let's target those guys. And then we got to get ready for the draft and try to hopefully be able to get our starting quarterback. So did we get those two guys? Yes, we did get Webb, and we also did we manage to get that strong safety? Yeah, we did. We signed Darrick Forrest. I work out. Let's go ahead and look at his staff. All right, let's take a look. Can I look at mock draft number 5? Okay, this is the last mock draft. Is it not available yet? I guess not. Guess it's not available yet. Okay. So let's go ahead and advance next week. Hopefully then we can see all of the mock drafts and see what they have us projected to do. So let's see. Let's go to mock draft. I guess they only have 3 of them. Well, we did start the season, you know, kind of early, so kind of later. Right now we would have the 8th pick, Lenoris Sellers, out of South Carolina, is what they have us projected to do. He's not a scheme fit guy. Is there any other quarterback that's projected to go? I mean, Garrett Nussmeier is projected to go 1st overall, but would the Raiders really do that since they signed Daniel Jones? If he slips or Drew Allar slips, I think that might be the better route to go. But if Sellers is the guy, then he's the guy. We don't have another first-round pick. So it's looking like it's going to be Sellers. I'd be okay with that, but if we can get a Lar or a Nussmeier slips for some reason, I wouldn't mind one of those guys either as our starting quarterback. All right.
Welcome.
Time to get our quarterback of the future. Hopefully we hit this one right on the head. So let's go ahead and see. So I'm looking at the board right now. Nussmeier has been selected, and also Alar has been selected. So it looked like we're going to have to go with Sellers. But you know what? I am okay with that. Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. We're going to draft him. And I'm hoping that this is the guy. It says it's a good pick, B+. Excels at throwing downfield, feels pressure, and delivers under fire. Excels when throwing on the run. Okay, I mean, I know he's more of a scrambler kind of quarterback, but a guy that can extend plays, to me, is not the end of the world. I mean, Cade Klubnik has slipped, but we got to look at other weapons. Antonio Williams out of Clemson, I think, would be pretty solid as well. So let's go with him. We need another receiver to go along with Tutu Atwell that we just signed. We're all about upgrading the offense right now, and he was also a good pick, B- receiver out of Clemson. I think I've drafted him in other rebuilds that I've done before, but it's been a minute. So we got another receiver. Maybe I should go with drafting another quarterback just in case the other guy doesn't work out. But you know what? We got so many backups, and I'm not going to worry about that too much. Justice Haynes, though, from Michigan. We do need some help to get younger at running back because Kamara is probably going to retire. I know we signed Rashard White, but Justice Haynes out of Michigan, good. It says it's a good pick. So you know what? I think that's a pretty good upgrade for our offense. All right, here we are in the 5th round, and this is where things are going to start getting a little bit tricky. We got a lot of receivers who are falling. This corner, who doesn't even have a last name, Davidson, out of Penn State. But you know what? We do need some depth at corner. I'm pretty sure I can figure out what his name is after this. It says it's an average pick. I'm not surprised, but hey, cornerback depth is not a bad idea, I think, at this point. So we're going to go with him. Could use some help at backup edge rushing help. Maurice Westmoreland out of Oklahoma State. Yeah, let's go take a risk on him. It may be risky. Okay, well, it's not too risky. It says it's an average pick. And we are getting into the day 3 selection, so, it's making things a little bit more difficult. So we didn't have a whole lot of picks in the first draft, but with getting Lenora Sellers, I'm pretty sure we've got our quarterback for the future. We drafted Lenora Sellers with the 1st-round pick, 8th overall. We drafted Antonio Williams, wide receiver out of Clemson, to get another weapon alongside Tutu Atwell. Justice Haynes we drafted from Michigan, running back depth. We got this corner named Davidson from Penn State. Right edge rusher Maurice Westmoreland of Oklahoma State was our 6th-round pick. So we only had 5 total draft picks in that first draft. But I like the way things are looking. Let's see. I want to see what Lenora Sellers' number is. I'm not as familiar with him as I am other quarterbacks. I know he's a real-life quarterback. Okay, he wears number 16, and he plays at South Carolina. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to give him his number if we really look at all the... We can take one off of the receivers. Bub Means. You know what? Can we actually just cut him? It'll do a penalty, so no, we're not going to do that. We'll just give him a new number. And Sellers is coming in already at a 74 overall. It looks like he's got some development traits that are hidden right now, so I'm hoping this is the quarterback of the future for the rebuild. This is Kellen Moore. We're riding with Lenore Sellers for the beginning of this rebuild in the first few years. Lenore Sellers, the future of the New Orleans Saints, former South Carolina Gamecock, coming here to make things happen. Now, Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck, I don't know what I'm going to do with that situation, but it's better than what we had before. All right, Justice Hayes. Justice Hayes. He is a real running back that plays for Michigan, and he does wear number 22. Okay. Yeah, he's already got 22 on. You know, that's somebody that could be a potential starter. I don't see Kendre Miller sticking around here for too much longer, to be honest. So we got some decent running back depth with getting Hayes, I feel. So I like the look of that. And Antonio Williams automatically becomes our fourth best receiver. So he might be able to get a decent amount of playing time already as a rookie. But hey, you know, that's a good look for us. He actually wears number 0. I believe we have our kicker actually wearing 0 right now. So Will Lutz, yeah, we're probably going to give him another number. Do we have anything in the single digits or even the 30 range? All right, we've got him. We can have him wear 8 for now. I think that's fine. Antonio Williams, Clemson Tiger, we're going to give him his number 0 that he wore at Clemson. Wasn't able to really draft any depth for the offensive line based on who was projected to be there. But our offensive line, we got better this offseason. Left tackle's high 70s, left guard's high 70s, center is the best position at 89, pushing 90, 78 Ruiz, 79 for the right tackle. Edge rushers are held and steady at like 80. So, I mean, this isn't a bad team starting out with, but obviously we got a lot of work to do. So, Maurice Westmoreland. Got to be a real player. Yeah, he is. From Tulane. He used to play at Tulane. Okay. Well, this says he played at Oklahoma State. Well, he actually wore number 0 too. So he's just going to have to wear 93 for now. I'm sure he's okay with that. This guy, Davidson, can I change his last name? Hopefully I can. Yeah, I can change his last name. Let me just search Davidson, Penn State. Davidson, Penn State. I don't even know. Davidson, Penn State corner. Davison, not Davidson, Davison, Penn State cornerback. Okay, who is this guy? Davison. The name likely refers to cornerback who played for Ohio State, transferred to Ole Miss. Oh. Okay, so technically this guy played, but that can't be him. Doesn't show that he played for Penn State. Maybe you know what? Let me check something because I don't want to have like 2 guys with the same last name. So you know what? This is going to be a crazy thing. So I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna go and see if there's another Davison Igboso. Texans, no. If I don't find anybody with that last name, then that might mean that it's him. I'm not going like every team. That'd be crazy. We're almost halfway. Maybe this is him. I guess they got his college mixed up, but it's fine. I can, make the adjustments as need be. Okay, I think this is him. So this guy, Davison Ogbioson, plays for Ohio State, actually. So I'm going to give him his last name. Let's see. I never had to do this before, rename a player. Maybe they just didn't put his name in or something? I don't know. Okay, IGB. Because it's not Davidson, it's Davison. So, IGBIN. Son. Okay. For the sake of accuracy, I'm going to change this to Ohio State because that's where he actually played college football. Okay. All right. Now let me see. All right. Now that we know that, Davison, Igbionson. He wears number 1 right now for Ohio State. Looks like he's worn like 20 in the past for Penn State, but I don't know if that one's available. All right, well, we'll keep him wearing number 26 for now. Still, I mean, the point is that we got some depth at corner, so 71 overall starting out is not bad. We did sign Starling Thomas, though, for a reason, for depth, but hey, I mean, we did sign Alontae Taylor back as well for a reason. So yeah, this team, it's looking a little bit better in certain ways. We just got to hope that Lenore Sellers is the guy. I think running backs are actually been upgraded more than I thought I was really going to get a chance to upgrade. Going with Rashard White, I think, was a decent idea. It may make Alvin Kamara trade bait at this point, but I'm okay with this kind of being a 1-2 punch. If stuff doesn't really do well for the first season of that, we're just going to let Kamara play out his contract, and then we'll let him leave gracefully or retire. Because him being 31 years old, I really don't see him playing much longer for us, much less in the NFL. Our receiving core is looking beefed up. Although Brandon Cooks, I mean, he's still holding steady at a 75, 12 years in the league. This is probably going to be his last year. That's why I definitely wanted to go with somebody in the draft. And we got Antonio Williams, another solid weapon for our new quarterback in Sellers. So I like the way that this team is kind of stacking up heading into the next season. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a better year and that we're going to be in better shape for 2026. Well, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm hoping that this series can be longer than 2 videos. I feel like it will be because Kellen Moore, I got him a contract extension at the end of the first season. So I got a better feeling about this rebuild than the last one when made the playoffs, didn't even sniff the playoffs the previous year. We started out like 1-10 with the Titans. So yeah, hopefully this is one rebuild that we can finish. So I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. Normally on Wednesdays, of course, I am at work, as you guys know, but I took today off, and I'm also off for Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm going to go see my family, and I'm also off for Black Friday as well. But I do have to go back to work on Saturday and Sunday. So I'll probably be streaming again, possibly on Monday. I do have another, it's kind of strange. I have another 3-day weekend at this time next week, because I'm also going to be taking the Wednesday off of next week as well. I'm trying to use my PTO for the rest of the year. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.